Hello, beautiful Pisces souls, beautiful Pisces people. I'm here today with your Pisces year ahead for 2026. I'm going to be going into the different energies and cards that I see for Pisces throughout the months of the year 2026. Okay, so I'm going to start with Mercury retrograde. Because in my previous videos, I was like, if you got your own forecast or year ahead video, I would tell you when Mercury's going to be in retrograde, and then I never did. So for 2026, Mercury goes retrograde 3 times, from February 26th to March 20th, which I felt was like important to include in this Pisces video because it's going to be happening during the month of Pisces, or the season of Pisces. Also kind of where this reading begins, like in April 2026. And then again, June 29th to July 23rd, which I feel like is Cancer. And I feel like when Mercury goes in retrograde in one element, it continues to be retrograde throughout that element. So then finally from October 24th to November 13th, affecting communication, travel, and technology with themes of reviewing, rethinking, and repairing things related to these areas, particularly in Pisces. A very smart, wise, and intelligent astrologer, Kelly Rossano, who used to be on YouTube, she told me, or, in her videos that I'd watch, that when Mercury's in retrograde, the best thing to do is just anything that you can put the prefix re in front of. So reviewing things, rethinking things, repairing. I don't know if repairing is really a prefix, but that's what to do. For me, I always say like bare minimum, like delete it, like find 1,000 photos in your thing, delete them. I know they have like apps and stuff for that, but whatever. Um, okay, so if you're watching this before 2026 or before April 2026, the energies that I see Pisces walking away from is the Five of Cups. So like December 2025, January 2026, February 2026, March 2026, around your birthday. I see that you'll be doing the Five of Cups, which the Five of Cups is like sadness, sorrow, remorse, but it's also like walking away from unfulfilling situations. So there might be a flood, might actually watch some people wash down a river. Or you just have to keep on like pushing and moving forward where other people may not be ready to move forward. And that is like the theme of the end of the 2025 astrological year. So like December, January, February, March, a pretty big span of time to just gloss over with one card. But that's what I see. And then in spring, Happy New Year. In April, or as I sometimes call the first house, we have the Sun card here. So it's very fair to say that by whatever trials and tribulations you're dealing with at the end of 2025 and beginning of 2026, the outcome will be a happy, joyful one where you'll be spending time with children. And the Sun card, I see it a lot, and I tell people that. And there's people who don't have kids. There's people who don't like to be around kids, but I kept seeing the Sun card, and I ended up working somewhere where there's like a bunch of children, screaming and playing. It was like a playground next door to where I was working. So there I was, happy and joyful around a bunch of children. So that's the Sun card. So that's April. April should be like a happy season for you. What is it? A lot of other planets go in and out of retrograde, obviously. And I think one of the biggest stinkers is the Saturn. I think it's like Saturn retrograde in Pisces, or just Saturn in Pisces in general. Which I think it might be currently. I could look at this up, but I think currently, as I'm recording, it is direct. But it might go back into retrograde into Pisces and finally leaves Pisces in the season of Aquarius or February. And then, which might be hampering your joy. And you're like, I'm going to be joyful and happy regardless of any planetary movements. But it might like affect the weather. You might have like a lot of overcast days. That's the thing with Mercury retrograde too. The sky turns quicksilver, like the god Mercury and Hermes and Trismegistus. So you might be like, I don't care about, Mercury retrograde or astrology or delays. I'm pushing forward. And then, your train or plane, uh, is delayed because of the weather. Like I've actually was like taking a bus to New York one time because I was like, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, best to be low to the ground. And the wind storm was so strong that the bus didn't feel comfortable crossing over a bridge. So, Mercury, Mercury, Mercury. Um, so then once again, or up next, we have the second house or the season of Taurus, which is May 2026. We have the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups talks about partnerships. It talks about good times, toasting, cheers. I've been seeing this card, the Two of Cups, a lot. I have been seeing this card, the Two of Cups, a lot in reference to um like work. So it's like your work environment. For me, I'm not the type of person to like go get drinks after work with my coworkers and everything, but maybe that's an okay thing to do, especially in this season of Taurus. In the month of May, it's really helpful for you financially because the second house or the Taurus house is the May house is the like financial sectors. So looking back at April with the Sun card, it's like your self esteem. You're going to be happy and smiling, and if you aren't, it might be best to do so. And with the second house, so it's like if you're watching this reading, thinking about your finances and work and career. Two of Cups says like make some business partners, make some friends, some buddies. And then in the season of Gemini, third house, I see this as like the house of like the house position of family, environment, classmates, comrades. Typically, people I see is like the same height as you, your weight class, like if you're a boxer or wrestler or something like that. I have the Fool card here. So the Fool card reminds me of, I guess it's like sort of a weird story, stupid, whatever. Like this one day, I was like really low on cash, and I kept getting this message for years. Honestly, kept getting this message to the cards like just go for a walk, and I would like get angry and I'd be like, unless there's like $20 like cash laying on the ground when I go for this walk, like it's not gonna help my situation, you know. Um, I mean, other than shaking off negative energy and working out and all those other great things that come from going for a walk or walking a dog. Um, and then this one time there was like $20 cash. So it's like, just take the advice sometimes from the tarot. So are you going to go for a walk in the season of Gemini, June, and find $20 on the ground? Hopefully. If not, maybe the equivalent of wisdom or the equivalent of health. It might help you, just like work out and get your voice stronger because the third house talks about like, communications. If you're a type of person that is thinking like, maybe you want to do public speaking events, but your voice is hoarse or coarse from seasonal allergies or whatever weather you experience in June, this could be the greatest way to heal that. And I see in your so the next month, the fourth house, in the season of July, in the season of Cancer, in the month of July, in the season of Cancer, we have the World card here. So this does talk about the same thing that I was just saying about maybe wanting to be a public speaker. This in July, you should be, could be, would be receiving a lot of like achievements, acknowledgments of your good reputation, improvements to your reputation from your mother's side of the family, from like maternal nurturers, but then also like from being a maternal nurturer. So it's like best mom, like a mug that says like number one mom on it for you, Pisces. But also just because it's the world card, it does talk about your body and your self-esteem. So maybe you're being recognized and acknowledged as this very happy, cheerful person. Uh, and so in the next position, the month of August, the season of Leo, we have the Three of Pentacles. This talks to me about recognition once again. So your so like even like just me having a overview of all these cards and you as well. 2026 looks like it's gonna be a very good year for Pisces. We have public recognition of your ego. So this is like the world in the fourth house, Three of Pentacles in the Three of Pentacles in the fifth house. In the season of Leo, it says to me like you're going to be recognized for like the way you look, your big beautiful smile, your worked out body. I don't know how you say it, like your physique. And you're gonna be recognized, and you're gonna have friends, and there's gonna be people appreciating you. In September, this is the place where I see like your work, your health. I see the devil here, right? And the devil, scary, bad. Devil's not a good card. But the devil does talk about like wealth. It talks about like it's a natural part of the cycle. You know what I mean? Like if you really love Boston cream donuts or chocolate eclairs, there's going to be a point where you're like you have one as a sweet treat. There may come a day where you have like 12 for your entire dinner and lunch. And then you're like the chocolate eclair devil, and there's just chocolate eclairs everywhere, and chocolate eclair boxes and your wrappers and whatever. So as 2026 is going to be such a great year for Pisces, by September you can start to maybe you can expect that it might rot, or if you're drinking too much, like you don't drink, you're sober, you've had a really good year in September, you want to start drinking again. It might be really quickly before there's like empty bottles and beer cans and stuff all over your floor. But just to what do they call it? Enable bad and toxic behaviors. I see that in October of 2026 in the season of Libra in the house of your relationships, there's like more popularity, more fame. Where it's like there's people who like want to watch, like they want to watch you do mundane things like shower, like almost like a sim. Um, and you could be attracting a relationship with somebody who is very popular and famous, who's an Aquarius. But also, the star card I always see is like 15 minutes of fame. So in July, we got the World card here talking about public recognition. We have the Three of Pentacles in August, which is like financial recognition. Like you're a good, July is like you're a good person. Um, August is like we should pay you. Um, September is like, you know, collecting all the checks and spoiling yourself. October is once again maybe from a person that you uh, date or someone you dated or like you have a really good reputation in the dating atmosphere. Um, and then in November, once again, a very auspicious card. We have the Empress here. So you might be singing in November. You might be singing like Nightmare Before Christmas, Halloween, Christmas carols, or something. With the Empress card here, meaning you're in really good health, you're feeling fertile. If you are of the age and persuasion to have children, you might be pregnant, or like that's the thing though, like the Sun card. I see it. I'm like, oh, you're going to be around kids. So you're going to be like working at Disney World or something, or at a preschool or somewhere where there are children. For me, myself, like I found myself at the library, at work, next to a playground where there are children screaming and laughing and playing. Um, so it's not like directly working with children, but they're around, right? So you may not get pregnant, but you might work next to a hospital and there's a bunch of like pregnant ladies or a Lamaze class going on in the yoga studio that you're working in or something. Or in your apartment building, there might be like a Lamaze class going on. Or in the courtyard of your where your house is, down the block in a park. And in um, the next month, which is obviously December, because I know my month so well, we have the Four of Cups here. So December, uh, the ninth house, Sagittarius, is like the Sagittarius house. It's the Jupiter house. It's expansion. It is luck and fortune. Sometimes with the Wheel of Fortune card, I see it as like large appliances like a dishwasher, dryer, spare tire, things like that. We have the Four of Cups. So next year is going to be a really good year for public recognition, fame, attention, finances, but also Pisces, you might be like faking it. You know what I mean? You might, miserable Pisces with a big old smile on their face, who actually feels like sort of miserable and bored and maybe drinking too much. There also could be like a Virgo who is like summoning demons against you or feels like a demon or is dealing with demons in your life. But with Sagittarius, they're bored. They might not have a lot of exciting news going on in their life, which they could try to like conjure excitement, which is sometimes when I see the Tower, it's like somebody who's trying to make like escape the Four of Cups into some excitement. Um, so, Four of Cups, boredom, ooh, that's a bad card. Not really, like if you're an action hero like Bruce Willis, or Chris Tucker in Fifth Element, Four of Cups is a really good card to see because there's not going to be like aliens and drama and screaming. Um, and then in January, so now we're like way far out in the future, man. We're like January 2027, actually. So I guess if I have one, which I might not, so if there's a Pisces year ahead, 2025, it should cover the beginning of 2026 and the latter end of it, which there may or may not be one of those videos somewhere. Um, I think there is. So in January 2027, in the season of Capricorn, in the month of January, we have the Lovers card here, which the Lovers have been actually like really confusing to me lately. Like, if I'm doing a love reading for somebody on Reddit and they're like, "Does so and so like me?" and I see the Lovers, I'm like, "Okay, sure." Of course. But sometimes to me, it is more like the Bible and Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden and like an apple tree more so than the two figures that are in the Lovers card. But also, it talks to me about like feeling flirty, like feeling ready for love. Um, so maybe you're like working on your self esteem, you're working on your finances, you're working on your career, battling demons, dealing with fame and attention, and a beautiful singing voice. And there might have been certain periods of 2025 or 2026 where you just didn't feel sexy, So in January, you'll be feeling very sexy. You may not be having sex, you may not have a partner, but like you'll be feeling like, your body is attractive. Which I think, like, if there's a clickbait title, Pisces Year Ahead 2026, your body is attractive. Your body, your face, all of it. Maybe not your job, maybe not your health, because the devil is there, and the devil does talk about things being ugly and limitations, but. And it might just be like washing off the, the chains and the rust of Saturn. In your 11th house of the month of February, season of Aquarius, welcome to the future, 2027. We have the Two of Swords here. So I use the After Tarot for these readings, which you can't tell because I don't post pictures of the cards. So Two of Swords typically in that month said that you'd be blocking friends because it's the 11th house, it's Aquarius, they rule friends and fame and popularity and attention. And if you're getting a bunch of 15 minutes of fame and attention and popularity, you might have to block out some people who aren't well wishers. But because this is the after tarot, it is more like an unblocking of friends. So maybe they're getting some, 15 minutes of fame and feeling popular and worthy, and you can allow them back into your life or communicate with them again. Or maybe there's certain languages that you didn't feel comfortable using or, music you didn't feel comfortable listening to. And by February 2026, you can put that stuff back on your rotation. And then in March 2027, way far out into the future, man, we got the Six of Cups, which is like you nostalgically looking over all the pictures that you probably have taken at your great, amazing. I'm Pisces too, so I don't know why I'm so jealous. Your great, amazing year that you've had for 2026. Also, once again, dealing with children, Maybe like doing like baby photography or something like that. Or I don't know, it's like something like little kids dressed as like Power Rangers at the playground. Um, but that's that. And then like so the rest of 2027 that I'm seeing, the energy that Pisces is heading towards is the Ten of Pentacles, which is money in a great neighborhood. So you might work at a daycare. You might start babysitting. You might have babies. If you're struggling with custody, you might receive custody of your children. All those types of great things. That is what I see. We went over Mercury retrograde. There is a part of me that wants to talk about Taylor Swift in this video, but I'm going to put it in my natal chart video, so I kind of like bash her a little bit, but her songs are good. There's a couple good songs. I wanted to say, and that's it. Thank you so much for listening, sharing, liking, and subscribing. If you have a friend that is a Pisces and you want to tell them how great their year is going to be, you should send them this video. I will see you in our next video. Bye.